And we are live.
Holy crap, we're back! We are back.
Hello, guys.
After discussing Liquid Sky last week, I wasn't sure if you two would be coming back.
I gave it my highest rating so far.
I know, but I figured that I just figured that was our best episode to date. I figured that two of you might have just said.
I gave it my highest rating so far.
I know, but I figured that I just figured that was our best episode to date. I figured that two of you might have just said.
I gave it my highest rating so far.
I know, but I figured. Right,
That's strange.
I had no idea that I had a window open.
Okay. Good thing we are live and things happen live.
That technical snafu was all on me. And my name is Robert Steiner. I'm one of the three hosts of Grindhouse Chic, and with me as always, from outside of Berlin on the German-Poland border.
Yes.
Oliver Gruner.
That's a great introduction.
and from all the way in Columbus, Ohio, home of Guided by Voices and restaurants that have nothing to do with Cincinnati chili, Matt Armstrong.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Hi, guys.
Oh, man.
Busy week. We had a busy week.
You guys had a busy week. I flew to Detroit for a comedy competition that I lost, which was sad, but I got to see all my friends and was happy. And then I got to smoke weed in a venue that gave zero fucks if people weed.
Nice.
Yeah, I was trying to make it up there, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get out of work early enough to make it up there in time.
Yeah,
one of these days.
It would have been sad if you drove up to Detroit to see me lose. But you know,
like second place at least.
No, I didn't even place. One of my jokes did not go over, and it lost. I'm pretty sure that's what one of the reasons I did not win. But my buddy Nick won, and he had a fucking phenomenal set. So I'm very happy with him. So, but I'm not very happy because we watched a movie called The Lamp this week.
So
that we did.
Yeah, let's talk about it. I have the Blu-ray case here. So a couple of people requested that we show the movie we are talking about. And we have a nice The Outing, aka The Lamp, which was released by Scream Factory before, right?
It was released on a double feature disc with another movie that I've never watched. And I'm just going to be honest, when I bought the Scream Factory thing, I bought it based on the cover of The Outing alone, because somewhere I figured that it looked like an Italian movie. And then when I watched it, I'm like, no.
Also, the cover has nothing to do except for the actors with the movie. There's no scene that shows those people in the woods.
Yeah, it makes it almost look like they're all going on like a camping trip.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the people on the cover of the movie are more attractive than the actors in the movie.
But let's talk about something before we go into the plot and the movie itself. Let's talk about some tech specs and the Blu-ray from Vinegar Syndrome. We have a new idea about our format, and we want to talk about the release that Vinegar Syndrome put out. So I prepared something. The movie was shot on 35mm, and Vinegar Syndrome has a 2K restoration of the interpositive, so not the original negative. But what's interesting is that they managed to uncover a series of short scenes that extend the movie. They integrated them into the movie, which results in a 98 instead of a 97 minutes runtime. So the movie is actually longer from Vinegar Syndrome than the Scream Factory version. That's interesting.
I got to tell you, Oliver, it felt longer. I'm pretty sure that minute was in cat ears because it just went on and
2 minutes. So yeah, I get what you're saying. But I think the transfer looks clean. They did a great job, except for I don't know why, but there's one scene where the grain is more visible than usual. Maybe it's an extra scene they found and they couldn't do a better restoration on it. I don't know, but that was something I noticed it was very early in the movie, I think, in the museum. But other than that, the movie looks really great. And there are also two. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I did notice that it definitely did look the worst out of everything we've watched so far, though. And I guess just not having that negative makes that big of a difference. But overall, it still looked pretty good.
Yeah.
I will say it looked better than the Shout Factory version. And that's the only nice thing I can say about this movie.
I have a couple of positive things to say about the movie. But let me just add one more thing. I noticed two instances where the camera was out of focus. That's not a problem caused by Vinegar syndrome, but probably by the production itself. And nothing major happens in those scenes, but still, I think it was in two instances where the camera was so out of focus that there was nothing in focus. So they made a mistake during production, I think.
Well, that might explain why this guy has never directed another movie.
Yeah, he's a Tom. What's his name? Tom Daley.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom Daley. It's a one-hit wonder. He did one movie and that's it. In 1987.
But it's also weird. There are a lot of directors who have made just one movie. The guy who directed Miami Connection, that movie's a cult hit. Or Carnival of Souls and Manos Hand of Fate. Sadly, this movie will not be in the same category as those films.
No. Also, I think Night of the Hunter was also a one-time hit, right?
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah.
I've never seen that.
But let's talk about the plot. What's going on in the movie?
So it involves a mysterious lamp that ended up in an old woman's house because this movie had tons and tons of setup. Then burglars came in and the stuff happened to the burglars because of the lamp. And it ended up at a museum where part of the lamp, a ring or a necklace, was stolen from the head of the museum's daughter. And they decide to sneak into the museum at night because that's a whole lot of fun and lock themselves in the basement because they had no budget for this movie, and then bad shit happens.
Yeah.
a lot of kills that could have been interesting, but just weren't. And a lot of use of snakes. Way too many snakes.
Are you afraid of snakes?
That's the one thing Indiana Jones and I have in common. Besides both of us being ruggedly handsome.
That's pretty much the spoiler-free summary of the movie. Do you want to talk about some spoilers?
Well, I think we can go on to a new category of our show, and I don't remember the name of it, but I do now. Hold on. Matthew, it's called The Worst.
Yeah.
Alice, you are the worst. Everything you did in this movie was your fault. You stole your necklace.
Yeah.
You made the wish of how much you hated your dad. And then, hold on, you started dating a guy, but your crazy ex is still stalking you. And then you have this brilliant idea of how you're going to convince your friends to spend the night in a museum. Every death is her fault. Ruining her father's engagement, her fault.
The list is long.
The fact that her boyfriend might have got his car damaged, her fault. Allison is the single worst character in a movie, in a horror film, where everything could have been involved, could have not happened, if she didn't steal part of the lamp and wore it. She is the absolute worst. And her dad is way too dumb to be a scientist. Who the fuck sets toast on fire? That is one of the most contrived moments in the movie.
But he rationalizes his stupidity pretty well, I think.
I'm just going to contribute that to the poor writing of the movie.
I can't agree, I have to say. Some parts of the movie were decent enough to enjoy them for me. Like in the beginning, in the museum, when the daughter has a small fight with her father, I think it was realistic and believable how they reacted to the fight. So to summarize it, there were a couple of scenes where the interaction between a group of people or two people was really believable, and more so than the rest of the movie. So they stood out to me because of that. I like the way Alex is her name, the main character, and the way she interacts with her dad. Not always, but sometimes it's really human and realistic in the way the father reacts to accusations, for example. I like that a lot. So I remembered that because of the realism to it.
I thought there was nothing realistic about this, including the relationship with her father. And I'm just going to say this because I thought that all the actors that they cast in this movie looked way too old to be high school students.
Yeah, that's true.
The fact that her and her dad almost looked like they were the same age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that she was like home from college, and then she was just like, kept going, "I need money, Daddy." And I was just like, "What? Who is this?"
They were too old.
And then she went to high school.
That's true. Yeah. But what I think there were a couple of high school scenes that I also liked. For example, the science class, the way the teacher explains the Dracula myth and also tries to explain a potential myth about a lamp that's mystical. I like that.
I just felt that was a contrived way to get a lot of exposition out there.
Yeah, but it worked for me, so it stood out.
See, that's the problem, because again, this movie had too much setup. The boat, okay, the old woman's house, all of that could have. And I know why the old woman's house is in there, because that's more deaths, but that could have been a line. Oh, where do we get this lamp? It was from an estate of this old woman.
Mm-hmm.
Got it from this ship. Boom. It could have been over and done with, and made the movie even shorter, which would have made.
I don't think the runtime is the problem. I think they got lazy during production, because some kills were, to me, really inventive for in the realm of the movie, but then they repeated the same pattern, and that gets boring really quick. Like the snake kills. The second one is really lame compared to the first one with the girl in the bathtub. That's cool.
Going up the guy's pants.
Yeah.
The trouser snake.
The trouser snake, yeah.
Look. But Matt, I didn't want to do this on air, but I'm going to too. Trouser snake is a euphemism. Pants snake when it's going up. Going up. It's a pants snake. Trouser snake. Alex. Pants snake. Yeah.
I just had to go for it.
That is why I am one of the 10 best comedians in Detroit.
So I think other than that, the kills I thought were pretty good. Specifically, what was his name? Rod, the guy who you didn't see it happen on screen, but
the one
he was bent in half.
Yeah,
yes,
bent in half. Yeah.
I thought the
thought that
Iron
was-
Mask was the coolest death.
That one was good too.
Both of them.
Which one? I didn't hear it.
The
Which
Iron
one?
Mask with the
Yeah,
rapist.
yeah.
And
That was cool. Yeah.
I think here's the thing. I think their deaths were so gruesome because I'm going to guess the director's thought and the producer's thought, and maybe the writer, is the audience would cheer their death.
Yeah.
And
I didn't.
Yeah. Because everything was the main character's fault.
But it does seem like they kind of saved up everything like too late into the movie. You know, the whole thing was set up, and setup's good. You know, you got to have it for the story. You got to have it for see where you're going. But it was just that. What was it? The last 20 minutes where
Yeah.
the genie made an appearance and things started happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
I think
again, the genie was only doing this
Right.
because she made a wish.
But we don't learn about it until I think the last 10 minutes or so.
But do you remember her actually making that wish? Because
No.
I don't.
No, I don't.
It was in the scene when not the kitchen, but when she first went to see her dad at the museum. Because he was saying like you're old enough to earn your own living.
Yeah. Yeah.
That kind of stuff, and she had her hissy fit. And then she turned around and said, "Oh, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it."
Yeah. But I don't think most people would remember that one.
Yeah.
Who do you think the most underappreciated character in the movie was?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Underappreciated.
I don't know. I want to say the teacher, but
No, she
didn't do anything.
What she did was she realized that the daughter lied to the dad, and then he realized they were at the museum.
Yes.
So yes, she ruined her father's proposal as well. He should just start over and have more kids and just get rid of her.
Well, he's dead now.
But
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot he died. But chances are she's in a mental hospital for the rest of her life.
Let's change from underappreciated to underused.
Underappreciated character was the African American scientist at the museum who translated everything and then died. He was the true hero of it because he had the information that would have ended the movie earlier too.
So we have a 30 minutes movie. Okay.
It's called a short.
I was also going to say the guard who is singing the opera. I thought it would have been really cool if, while the killings were happening, if he was walking around the museum and his singing was like the background of the killings happening.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. His death was boring though.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I did enjoy that one. But I think the two punks, one of which was the ex of Alex, they were underused. I think we didn't need them for anything. And what they did in the end of their screen time was really unnecessary. The rape scene.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well, I mentioned earlier, so their deaths would get that applause.
Mm-hmm.
That was supposed to be that moment. Oh yeah, these have been the bad guys since the beginning. They're going to get what's coming to them and then some.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. But
I felt like they were.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I felt like those two characters were like such extremes at different points of the movie too. Like when we first meet them, not the car chasing, but when they go to school, the ex-boyfriend is just like super racist for no reason.
Yeah.
And then so that's like high extreme. End of the movie with the rape scenes, high extreme. But when they're in the museum, they're just doing like almost like Scooby-Doo hijinks to the other kids, like not doing anything with them, like tying ropes to a door and.
Yeah. That's exactly true.
but here's the thing,
I thought it was weird.
The kids from Scooby-Doo would have figured this out in 22 minutes.
That's also true, yeah. But I think those two punks, especially in the middle of the movie, didn't do anything to move the movie forward, so we didn't need them. And the way they interacted with each other was really strange, like they're boyfriends and too strong for anybody to handle, but they hold back a lot, so like built like a tank, but they didn't do anything. Yeah,
They had good style.
It wouldn't surprise me if the producers of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers saw this movie and based Bulk and Skull on them.
Yeah,
could be.
And those two were better characters than the bullies. Because Bulk and Skull would never rape. They had a code of honor.
Yeah. What I noticed.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay. What I noticed was that every time, so in the beginning, like the car chase scene ended with the cops arriving pretty fast, and also in the school where they confronted the main character and her boyfriend, and they fought. Also, that one was very quickly interrupted by the principal or somebody. We didn't get an introduction, but the way he interrupted the fight was really cool, I think. So what I liked was that there was not really a problem arising outside the museum for the main character, because every time something happened, either the cops or the principal showed up and cleaned the scene, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I like that.
Did you guys notice in the that car chase scene where, you know, her current boyfriend was driving it the whole time, but then when it started doing the, like, you know, going over the curb scene, it was like clearly an old man driving the car. They made no effort to hide it either.
Nice stunt doubles.
Again, the lack of budget and why the majority of the movie was filmed in a pretty small location.
I think they could have at least just put the top up on the convertible.
Yeah, for example, yeah. I think also within the budget they could have done better. I think the kill scenes, like I said, were kind of repetitive at times or boring. And I think one we didn't see at all, and he just lied there bent in half. And the researcher from the museum with the vent on the ceiling, we didn't see that one. Not as good as, or not as much as I hoped for. We just saw a couple of blood patterns, but that was it. So yeah, I think within the budget they could have done better.
Did you guys watch the one special feature on the disc?
I started to, but I was medically inebriated.
They were talking about the genie they made, and they said that it was literally like 18 feet tall on like a railroad cart. Yeah. And it's just like they didn't have a bottom for it, so that's why it was just smoke at the bottom of it every time. And I'm just like, this is where your entire budget went. You barely used the thing.
I didn't mind that.
That's what I like about what I think makes a great low budget movie is when they maximize their budget to make it look like it's the most insane film in the world. Brian Trenchard Smith is really good at this. If you've ever seen Dead End Drive-In, he maximizes every dollar to the fullest effect.
Nice.
This movie doesn't.
Yeah. Probably not. No.
Here's a question for you guys. Vinegar Syndrome over the years has released movies that other labels have. This, Christmas Evil, Through the Fire, Death Promises, or Death Promise. This one is unique in the fact that footage was added to it. Do you think if you already own the Shout Factory disc, they need to upgrade to it?
Of course.
Well, I'll answer that with a question because I don't know the answer to this. But when Shout puts their discs out, do they do any sort of, rescanning or anything like Vinegar Syndrome does? Or are they
Sometimes,
just do they? Okay.
yeah. Sometimes like new 2K scan. I don't remember if that one was, but let me double check. But going on, I mean, so Matt, do you think do you think it was worth an upgrade?
Well, I haven't seen the Shout one, and I don't know what special features were on there, but I mean, this one did only have the one. So if that one had more, and you're just getting, from the scenes that were added, they said there'd be, noticeable jumps. I noticed maybe one or two jumps in the film, but they probably didn't really add much to it, I would imagine. So I would say only if the movie really does look that much better, then yeah, I would upgrade. But special feature wise, if the other one has more, I would probably stick with that one.
There are no supplements on the Scream Factory.
Okay.
And, I mean,
Yeah.
the trailer, a commentary, and a making of, or a retrospective on the making of.
Mhm.
But the main question is, do you need this one in your collection or not?
So I'm going to preface, when I saw that Vinegar Syndrome was releasing this, my heart sunk into my stomach because, again, of my bias towards this film. That said, the slipcover is beautiful if that's your thing, and the movie does look better.
Mhm.
But you can't polish a piece of shit. And this movie.
But I think it has its audience, right?
I'll throw
Well,
some
people-
paper up here.
Well, obviously
There's
it does,
the
or
world.
Vinegar Syndrome wouldn't release it.
Yes.
And there's the bag.
But
Nice.
I mean, I don't know how. I mean, let's go look at sales. If this is still over 1,000 units they have in stock.
Yeah, go check. In the meantime, I pop a question for you guys. Did you count how many people died during the movie?
No.
I was starting to, and then I lost track because they really just piling up there at the end. But I mean, I think we could probably do it pretty easily. There were 4 in the beginning at the house.
Yes. I
Um,
think 9 in the museum, and then the dead. So we have 14.
14.
14. That's not bad for a 90 minutes low budget movie.
Mm-hmm.
How many deaths in it?
14, if I counted correct. Not counting the boat at the beginning, because we
Mhm.
didn't see them die, just being dead.
We had 3 couples, which is 6. We had 2 security guards and the scientist. So yeah, that's 9. Yep.
Not enough.
Not enough. Yeah, they could have died. All of them could have died.
It was a
Yeah.
mystical creature. It could have killed millions.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So that's one thing I wanted to talk about was this genie. How does this genie work? Because it doesn't seem like you really call it out to make wishes. And the old lady that had the bracelet on, and she built the lamp into her wall so she never had to see it again. And then when it comes after everyone at the end, it's talking to Alex saying, I belong to you, stuff like this. But does it just kill everyone around whoever's wearing the bracelet? Is that the point of the genie?
No. The genie will do your wishes because it belongs to you. And the only reason that it's killing is because it's what Alex wished for in a weird roundabout way. Also, they were trying to destroy the lamp, so it was trying to protect itself. Like
Did she want to kill all of her friends though?
I don't know, Alex. She was stupid. She was crazy.
But no, she didn't.
She was a bad person.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was like the genie wanted to protect itself and killed everybody around its except for the one who wears the bracelet. Maybe that.
All
I like
right.
the idea of it, but the execution lacked ambition and heart.
But there are better genie
Yeah,
movies out
Of course,
there.
like I said, ambition and heart is what they missed.
I don't know. I would love to have been on set while they made this movie, so I could help them correct all of their mistakes.
Yeah.
All right.
But they could have done better. Yeah. One last question before we wrap it up. So Matt, you or Robert, was it you who you called your favorite death the Iron Mask?
The Iron Mask, yes.
Maybe what was your favorite death?
I would say probably it's the one you didn't see. I think the guy being cracked in half, and especially if you watch that special feature, he kind of tells a story about how terrible that scene was to do. So they pretty much like nailed him into the floor for a couple hours, and they like went to lunch and just left him there. And
You know what? That sounds like the
Perfect.
most Texas thing I have heard today. Holy crud!
Yeah,
I'd probably say that one.
So what do you, Oliver?
I like the way his girlfriend died with the snakes in the bathtub. When she came out, she was full of snake bites and blood, and then I like that one. But also the one where the boyfriend of Alex was bitten by old reanimated woman.
Yeah.
I like that one too.
And Alex just stood there, just watching.
Yes, just
like a football
screaming.
The worst. Alex is the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a cool death. I think they made that one look good.
Mm-hmm. I think this one had the most out of what we've watched so far, right? Most deaths.
Yes.
Yes.
No. Bloody New Year in context of all the people who were ghosted.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But the most death we saw on camera was Lamp. Yeah. So we need to step up for the next movie.
How many deaths were in Liquid Sky?
4?
Yeah.
That's right. More coke was consumed in Liquid Sky.
Yeah.
All right. Oliver, how many evil genies would you give this movie?
2.5.
Matt, how many evil genies would you give this movie?
Same thing. I had 2.5. I even watched a little bit more of it again this morning. I watched it last night just to see if there was anything to it. I kind of skipped through some scenes, and it's 2.5, staying at 2.5.
I am giving this one 0.
Ooh,
I had no enjoyment watching it.
that's going to bring our average down.
Yeah.
And I believe that everybody who participates in this movie, there's a special place in hell for wasting my watching.
Well, I think that might have happened because pretty much everyone in the movie, this was their only movie.
Yes. For good reason.
Except for the producer and teacher.
Yes, I think that was it. And the scientist who translated everything had some other movies too.
He was good.
You know what? Fine. Cool. Cool. So this kind of brings up, this is a movie that was released by another company beforehand, or previously released. Let's talk about what films from other boutique label libraries or major labels that you would love to see Vinegar Syndrome re-release. Now, it could be with the transfer was terrible on the previous edition, or there were no extras, or it's out of print and you would desperately want a copy of it. I think those are our parameters.
I like that.
I'll go first, and then I'm going to also add a box set that kind of relates to my first pick. It was a MGM film that was released, I believe, in 83 or 82. It was released on Blu-ray by Olive Films, which translates to having no extras on it. It is The Last American Virgin. I would love to see Vinegar Syndrome release this. I know in England it was released by Arrow. I don't know. I think on DVD, I don't know if there were what the extras were on there, but I would love to see a comprehensive documentary of this film. I would love to see the main three actors get together and talk about their experiences on it. I would love to see the woman who played the receptionist on Twin Peaks, who was also in this film, be interviewed about it. And I would love to see an interview with Diane Franklin about how she was one of the queens of teen sexploitation cinema of the 80s. So I would love to see that. I would also love to see a box set of the Lemon Popsicle films, which were the Israeli movies that Last American Virgin was based on, and had the same writer and director as the Lemon Popsicles, as the Last American Virgin.
Is it out of print?
No, the Olive one, Olive film one. Is
no, the Arrow one, meine ich, from Arrow.
I have no idea.
Okay,
I have no idea. Since I do not have a region-free player, I tend to ignore things that I cannot watch.
You got to get one, man.
I think so. I think it's out of
yeah,
print.
yeah. If I got one, I would be broke. I would be a victim.
Yes. Yeah,
that's true. That is true.
Yeah. And I don't think either of you want me moving in with you.
Nope. No room. No room for roommates.
I can probably knock out this wall and fit you down here.
Look, Matthew, I'm sorry. No, I've seen the state of your basement, so no. And Oliver, you can move your daughter into your room, and I would just take hers.
Okay.
or
to Germany.
It's a work in progress.
All right. Oliver, what about you? What release would you like to see Vinegar Syndrome release?
So, I still have my issues or troubles with finding a release, but to solve my problem of getting it, I would like to have I go very easy now, Friday the 13th box set from Vinegar Syndrome, because Shout Factory doesn't ship to Germany and Amazon US doesn't have the option to ship to Germany for that one. So Vinegar Syndrome would be the only, not the only option, but a nice option to have for that box set. But if Rubber was shot on film, I would like to have that one, but it's not. It's shot digital with a Canon 5. What did you say? It was a 5 Mark II or so, something like that. Yeah, but so it's a digital movie, and Vinegar Syndrome doesn't do them. The only thing I can think of is the box set right now, because I have to go through my entire collection and look for something that's not released by Vinegar Syndrome and could be. Yeah,
okay.
I'm not that creative when it comes to re-releases from another boutique label.
Hey, Matt, what about
I'm
you?
sorry.
No problem, man.
Yeah, this was a hard topic for me too, just because I always buy all these movies and then never watch them, so I don't know, what's good or not.
We all do that.
But I will say I've been into the Vestron video releases lately and getting those, and to my knowledge, they do not get any sort of new scans, rarely have any sort of special features at all on those, so I would like to see some of those.
Now I have one.
Some of the Vestron has special features, like Return of the Living Dead Part 3, I think it has a making of.
Oh, I don't have that one.
Parents and Bud the Chud.
But right now I'm looking at Dementia 13 I just got, and it's got an audio commentary, and that's it.
Ugh.
But I would think that I would like to see some of those have some more love to them. One of my favorite movies that I could watch just like 1,000 times in a row and probably have is Roadhouse. I would like to see. I don't know if it would really fit in with Vinegar Syndrome, but I would like that to just get a new scan, get some special features on there. Probably going to be hard at this point, but
I'm actually glad you mentioned that, because again, we've all seen that Vinegar Syndrome has gone through a pivot, releasing movies like Rad, Beastmaster, like favorites of cable TV back in the day. Roadhouse was a favorite of cable TV back in the day, and even though it was a Hollywood movie, it's still a genre film, and it's shot on film. I would love to see Vinegar Syndrome put out the ultimate version of Roadhouse. Actually, I'll take it back. I would love to see either Vinegar Syndrome, Arrow, Shout, or Shout Factory put out the ultimate version of Roadhouse. It's a movie.
Yeah,
it's a movie that's so deep in pop culture. It deserves better than what it has.
I think it's also out of print at least in Germany. Sorry.
Yeah, I've got like a bare bones MGM one. The last one I have written down here, and it kind of goes outside of our criteria here because I don't think it has released, or I don't think it's received any Blu-ray release at all or anything. But have you guys ever seen Soul Man?
Yeah, the Thomas Howell movie. Yeah,
Yes.
that movie's never ever going to be released. For all intents,
I think that would be a good one for them, or one of the partner labels. But
so actually, that brings up another good question: is we have a bunch of movies that are culturally insensitive, and I'm just going to say it: Soul Man is probably one of the most culturally insensitive movies ever, and I'm pretty sure that movie was greenlit over a lot of cocaine, because even in the 80s, doing that was wrong.
I have to check that one out.
Yeah,
the director's got some, some good movies that he did
after Soul Man.
Let me see if they were actually after. Let's see. All right, well, not so much. After Soul Man, he had Warlock, Halloween H2O, which, I mean...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lake Placid.
I mean, even like that movie, C. Thomas Howell was a star on the rise. Outsiders, a small role in E.T. His career pretty much stopped. Ray Dawn Chong, her career stopped. Soul Man killed careers. I just can't imagine anybody looking at that script going, this is a good idea to make this movie.
I'm very intrigued to see it. I have no idea what's it about.
No, we're not even going to repeat the plot on here.
Yeah,
no,
I have a DVD of it, but it looks real bad. But I think a good special feature on it would be like, just what were they thinking? How did this become a thing?
Well, here's the thing. While I think the movie is bad for so many reasons, I think these movies need to be released and need to be talked about in a historical context, because otherwise we are going to be ignoring a significant part of the movie industry and how times have changed and the portrayal of race and sex have changed as well.
Yeah,
because
like you said, it'll probably never happen.
I know. I mean, I'm still waiting. I hopefully before I die, the Jerry Lewis, The Day the Clown Died, will get released. Because the movie sounds horrible, but it also sounds like an important piece of cinema that I want to see.
Is that the only one of his that hasn't been released?
According to his people, that one will never, ever get released.
Interesting.
Do you know Spider from David Cronenberg?
No.
No? That's because it doesn't have any Blu-ray releases worldwide. And that one, that's now on my list at the top. I want a Blu-ray release of Spider.
I bet you either we're going to see from Scream Factory at some point a Cronenberg box set, because they've been seeing ones. No, actually, Criterion as well. They've released a bunch of Cronenberg. So
Arrow as well. So it's a mixed bag. Kind of hard to do a box set for one company, I think, because probably the license are distributed all over the place. But Spider doesn't have a Blu-ray release, and I want one.
Here's the thing: I'm very happy that I live in a world where I have a Blu-ray release of Scanners and Videodrome.
Yeah.
Long live the new flesh.
So I watched Scanners during the week for the first time.
I'm just going to say Scanners might be the best X-Men movie out there.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think of it, Oliver?
Talk about that. I liked it. I expected it to be a little more brutal. I think there are two scenes in the beginning and at the end of the movie where we have Cronenberg at his best, and in the middle of the movie it slows down a little bit. I think a little bit too much for me. That's why I didn't give it a 5-star rating, but a 3.5. But still very enjoyable, very Cronenberg. But to me, Videodrome is the better movie.
Long live the new flesh.
Yes. But still, Scanners is I think it's one of his earliest movies, and Videodrome was later.
Oh, no, not anywhere near one of his earliest films.
No, but Videodrome was still later than Scanners.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, they were a couple years apart, I think.
I checked. Videodrome is from 83, and don't want to say... Yeah, 81. Scanners is 81. So he had 2 years of personal development and perfecting his craft.
I think Cronenberg's best 3 films are Rabbit, Scanners, and Videodrome. So here's a trivia question for you. Out of the 4 Scanners sequels, and I use the word sequels very loosely, which is the only one that has a direct connection to Cronenberg Scanners?
There are 4 sequels?
Yeah, there's Scanners 2, Scanners 3, Scanner Cop, and Scanner Cop.
Okay, you're calling the... all right, you're counting the Scanner Cops. Okay. Probably the last one, I'm guessing.
And only one of them has a direct connection? That's what you said?
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm gonna say
Scanner
first
Cop
Scanner Cop. Yeah.
Okay, I'm guessing, but...
Oh, and you're saying what, Matt? You're saying
Scanner Cop. Yep.
One?
The first one.
Scanner Cop 1.
Same.
The answer would be Scanner Cop 2.
That's
Because Scanner Cop 2 acknowledges what happened in Scanners. So they're all technically sequels, but Scanner Cop is a 2, which makes Scanner Cop 1 also a direct sequel, but it doesn't mention it. And the 2 Scanner Cop movies are so much fun.
Let's talk about them the next time.
Yeah, we'll actually next week we are talking about Petey Wheatstraw, the Devil's Son-in-Law, and then I would love to talk about the Scanner Cop films.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. What else have you watched this week?
Scream, the first one, the original, and it was better than I remembered from 20 years ago or so. I didn't remember that it's so meta, so many movie reference. But I really enjoyed them, and I gave it a 5-star rating on Letterboxd. So I got the 4K UHD during the weeks, and I popped it in. Looks great, sounds great, great movie.
Nice.
I agree. Scream is probably one of my favorite horror films, and if in my category of meta, it is the #1 meta film.
But it's not a horror movie.
It is a horror.
It's a slasher. It's a slasher.
No, it is a horror. It is a horror movie.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Right, we'll debate this another time.
You guys are gonna duke it out
every time. We debate this every time.
All right.
What about you, Robert? What'd you watch?
So I watched a lot. So when I got back home on Thursday, I found my Severin box set waiting for me. I'm really mad because I had the post office hold all my mail. For some reason, they did not hold that one. But I was happy. That meant I didn't have to go to the post office right away. So the first thing I watched the first disc in the Kinky set, and that is not Kinky as in the American style. It's the Spanish teen delinquent movies. Navajos, I think, was the first one that stands for thugs. I was just blown away. The movie was raw. It felt real. It had a nihilist ending, but it also had a hopeful ending, or an ending where the whole thing is just going to repeat itself in the future. But a wonderful film. The extras on there giving you a historical context of the Kinky films, and like an hour featurette of the director and how he's one of the founders of this type of cinema, how it was also queer cinema. So I'm going to watch the other two at some point today. Then I watched Night of the Demon, which might be the best Bigfoot movie where a Bigfoot rips the genitalia off a biker that I've ever. If I was going to do a double feature with that, I would do a double feature with the second all-night porno collection for Vinegar Syndrome, with just the movie The Geek, which is the only Bigfoot porno that I have ever seen.
I'm surprised there's such a thing.
Yeah, I am too. I also watched the 4K for V for Vendetta, which looks phenomenal.
Nice.
And then I watched
great movie.
Besides watching the Lamp, I also watched House on the Edge of the Park and Halfway House, both from Severin.
Nice.
And today I'm not watching anything exploitation because I need to put my system and watch something that
need to heal a little bit.
I do. What about you, Matt?
Well, I've been doing this challenge on Letterboxd, and it's pretty much Western and noir themed. This week I watched Jubal. So it's from Criterion Collection. It's really, really good. I would recommend that if you haven't seen it. The pacing is good. You don't think you're watching a 50s Western. It's just really good story, really good pace. Highly recommended. This next one I watched, it's a partner label from Vinegar Syndrome, and it's Assholes.
Nice.
Nothing could have prepared me for what I witnessed here.
Nothing could prepare you in a good way, or in a way that you feel like the first time you watch a Serbian film.
I'm gonna say a nice mixture of both.
Yeah, I don't think I'll order that one.
Yeah. There's not much I can say about it, but it's really just like a drug-fueled kind of
I want to see it.
movie.
I want to see it.
You never know when the movie is called Assholes, and multiple reasons why it ends up getting called this. Is all I'll say.
Matt, you ordered all the December partner labels, right?
I did, yeah.
How does it feel to be giving your child's education to Vinegar Syndrome?
Well, I don't have one yet, so.
No. Okay. How does it feel when you have to tell all this stuff? Poor child.
Worth it. Totally worth it. Last one I watched, and I think we were talking about it earlier, was Eternals. I finally got around to watching. Actually watched it twice this week.
Wow.
And I'm gonna say, probably unpopular opinion, but I think it's probably number one from Phase 4 so far. I would say.
So
I think it's one of the better
3
Marvel
movies in Phase 4, right?
Yeah, there's Black Widow.
Does count?
Shang-Chi.
How does Black Widow fit into Phase 4? Because it's in the past.
I think just because it introduced her, like Yelena, and she's going to be like a big part of what's going forward.
And it introduced Thunderbolts that went on.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen it. Okay. I'll check it out then. Okay.
And then No Way Home,
which I still haven't seen.
Me neither. So
I was gonna go today, but we're right now expected to get a Snowmageddon.
Oh,
I think we are too. Yeah.
Nice.
So
I thought it was really good. I've got it number one, Phase 4, and I think it's very underappreciated. Maybe like misunderstood a little.
Okay. It is. Okay.
Interesting.
I think it failed because Marvel has taken a concept that isn't very popular. The Eternals are not popular, and
they're boring.
They're not boring. I think.
They're boring.
when Neil Gaiman and Kubert did their miniseries back in the early 2000s, I can't remember. They show that the Eternals could be cool, but to me, they're just Jack Kirby wanted to continue doing New Gods, but when he got fired from DC, he came back to Marvel and gave us a watered down version of it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to read the Eternals, go read the Fourth World stuff from DC Comics. It's better, and it's just better. And you know what?
It just is.
Let's just end the show with the word better, because I think this is our best episode yet. And we are going to be back next Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for one of my favorite Rudy Ray Moore films, P.D. Wheatstraw, The Devil's Son-in-Law. And hopefully, before the end of the year, we'll actually review all 4 of the films released by Vinegar Syndrome.
Maybe, yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah, maybe.
One of my favorite genres.
Nice.
I think one of my favorite genres as well.
This year is
about Welcome Home, Brother Charles.
Yes.
That is the best movie where a guy uses his dick as a weapon.
You said it last time.
Yeah.
Worth repeating, though.
Yeah.
I think this year is already my best movie year in terms of movies I've seen that I rated higher than 4. So I already have 2 movies that I rated 5 out of 5. And last year I didn't rate anything 5 out of 5. So to me, it's already a great movie year, and it's getting better. And just not only because we are doing this channel and I'm watching a lot of movies because of it, but I think what's coming this year, like the new Batman, for example, I'm very interested in. I think this year is a great year of movie releases.
And speaking of which, all of you should follow me on Letterboxd. If I get 10 followers, I'll start updating my page. If you, you'll get to hear such reviews as this for Let My Puppets Come. If someone ever asks, what is the best puppet porno that also happens to be a musical? You answer, Let My Puppets Come. If someone asks, what was the best musical released in 1976? You answer, Let My Puppets Come. If someone tells you that Peter Jackson's Meet the Feebles is 100% original, you need to tell them to watch Let My Puppets Come. If you want to watch puppets fuck and sing, Go watch Let My Puppets Come. 5 stars. Follow me on Letterboxd at Robert2339 for ditties like that. And watch Peacemaker on HBO Max. And let's hope we get a second season of that. My name is Robert Schneider. And as always, I am joined by Oliver Gruner, Matthew Armstrong, and we will be back next week for another rousing edition.
Take care. Bye.